Unscripted.
The landscape is almost comical right now. I look around and I see a bunch of clowns posting all kinds of stuff about how Xbox is the market leader, or Xbox is winning this, or everybody's switching to Xbox. And I just scratch my head and just kind of laugh it off a little bit. I did a video not too long ago, and about this, and it was after PlayStation 5 broke the NPD records and broke the record for fastest selling console, which they broke the record that they previously held themselves. We've seen that the Xbox Series X/S are really kind of cooling off and actually selling a little bit less than what the Xbox One was selling at this particular time. Everybody's talking about these things, right? They're talking about how great Xbox is doing, how piss poor PlayStation is doing, and then you look at the factors and the numbers and things like that, and nothing actually backs that up. And in fact, I was just kind of in my feed, of course, the stuff that actually gets recommended to me in terms of gaming and things like that. You guys might remember Destin Legary. I don't know if he still is still doing IGN stuff, or he does his own stuff, but he has his own YouTube channel, and I don't really have a problem with the guy, at all. I just really found that some of his talking points were kind of ridiculous. One of the things that he kind of talked about was new players love Xbox. Here's why so many are switching. And he actually did an interview with Paul Tassi from Forbes, which I thought was a very good video, very well done. And I thought that, they hit some interesting points. Now, one of the points that I will make that concede is like something like the Avengers, okay? Marvel's Avengers. I played that on PS4 Pro. I played maybe 7 hours in. The next, I held off then because I wanted to play the next gen versions. The next gen update came out. I tried to boot it up. I did what they said in order to get the game to work correctly and to recognize the save from the PS4, because I have a PS4 Pro that has the game and I have my PS5 that has the game. So the PS4 Pro, I uploaded it and did the thing like you're supposed to with the save file and into the cloud and whatnot, and then I migrate your save, and then I looked on the save thing on the PlayStation 5, nowhere to be found. So I basically had to start over. So at that point, I started the game fresh on Xbox Series X, not because it looks better or anything like that. I mean, but basically because it was just easier to actually pick up the game and start to play, and that's like one negative thing. But you're not going to see a whole bunch of instances like that on the PlayStation 5 console, which to me has really impressed with what it's been able to accomplish and things like that. So are many people switching over? I think the facts actually kind of deny that, as Sony and Jim Ryan have stated that 1 in 4 PlayStation 5 owners were not PlayStation 4 owners. So where exactly does that come from if you're talking about, who's buying what nowadays, right? And a lot of people will bring up scalpers, and I never understood what scalpers have to do with that bit of information, because they go, well, of course, because scalpers got this and, blah, blah, blah. What Sony's basing this on is gamer tags, or PSN names, okay? The new PSN names on the PS5s are people that didn't have PSN names on PS4. That's where they're basing this from. Scalpers aren't opening these things, creating new PSN names, folks. Sorry to burst your bubble with a little bit of normalcy and a little bit of intelligence. Like, it baffles my mind sometimes that I'm one of the only people that seems to intelligently think about some of these things instead of nonsense. How people got something like scalpers out of that, I have no idea, other than to straight up damage control that the PlayStation 5 is killing it. And I like both consoles. I play both consoles, right? I think that Microsoft is onto something once they could actually start to put something decent on their platform in terms of console exclusive or whatever. I think they'll be sound as a pound. But the problem is, we're still almost 600 days since they've actually put something out or bothered to do something like that. So we are in a weird situation where we're sort of living with this weird kind of problem that Microsoft is having the absolute worst time trying to get their games out to the general population. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be getting better anytime soon. And that's really unfortunate for everybody involved, because I think it is a good console and I don't want to see it fail. I want to see it continue to be, to be a success and maybe even outdo the Xbox One. because I think that Microsoft did address a lot of the problems, but they didn't address the biggest problem, which is lack of games, which has really plagued Microsoft for the last few years. So again, this whole nonsense that people are leaving PlayStation and jumping on the Xbox train because of, Game Pass and things like that. There's recent surveys that even state, something like 75% of gamers like owning their games. They don't want to rent their games. And I got to be honest, like, I'm one of those people. And, there's going to come different points in the future, right, where something's going to happen with Game Pass and people aren't going to like it, whether they're going to have to raise the price or whether some developers start to avoid it. Listen, Microsoft is willing to spend money right now at a premium, maybe even more than these games are worth, okay? What I mean by that is developers want you to buy their games at full price at launch. I believe that the deal that Microsoft is making to get a lot of these games in Game Pass, probably a better deal than, what people originally were getting paid, what these developers were getting paid per buy, right? That's how you get some of these things into Game Pass day and date, or some of these. Now, years from now, after Microsoft has everybody, has people hooked into renting their game through these services, what's going to happen? When they're not going to have to spend that much money to get people into Game Pass, and then people are, I think that's probably when developers are probably going to start to get screwed over a little bit. And all you have to do is look at something like digital music. And I know that I've said comparatively, I don't like comparing, like Netflix to Game Pass or Spotify to Game, and I'm not really doing that. What I'm comparing it to is how artists get paid. Artists, sue in the industry, say they don't get anything for digital distribution of their music due to the fact that of the licenses and stuff like that. It's very hard to kind of keep count of it. I could see something like that actually cropping up in the future with Xbox, and that would be a terrible thing. For me personally, I think Xbox is fine, but I'm the type of person that likes to own my games as well. And so when we see these types of things pop up, like, what are we going to do? Like, honestly, what can we do as fans to get people back on board with, gaming and trying to get everybody, like, excited about the world of gaming again? I'm not saying that, allegedly, obviously, people are saying that Xbox is the place to go right now. According to who? That's what I would say. Like, I look around on the networks and stuff like that. I look around and I'm taking a little bit of a break. I've recorded some stuff pretty much ahead of time, and I'm kind of taking a break from social media and from podcasting and doing videos in general and stuff like that. I don't know if and when I'll be back or whatever. I mean, YouTube, like maybe you've noticed, has kind of shadow banned what I do, and nobody's getting notifications, right? Like, I've tried numerous things, and I'm not the only one. You can look around. There's a lot of people doing videos about it. They're trying to get back in the algorithm and stuff like that. The algorithm to their own freaking subscribers, mind you, right? Nobody's hardly getting any kind of information or updates or notifications. But, I digress. It is one of these situations where, I'm going to, either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I haven't really decided what course of action I'm taking right now, but everything's kind of set on a different kind of path right now. But for me, I love talking about games, and I love, like, sort of the, you guys probably have noticed a little bit anyway, that, I'm sort of at this point where, for me personally, it's like that don't give a crap kind of point, and I think a lot of people are starting to notice that. And I also want to say that I appreciate those that have been very responsive to it and things like that. Listen, I don't know what the future holds. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't. Things change, and things have changed in the landscape. It doesn't necessarily make me as happy as things used to be. I used to be just have a blast with this stuff, and YouTube makes it so you almost can't have fun with this stuff, right? Like, I hate to say it, but not sending out any kind of information or notifications doesn't make me want to go out and do more videos. It's just a shame realistically that, you know, people have to go through that. I'm not the only person, and I have screwed myself over in numerous ways. I totally get that. Trust me. But at the same time, it's like I feel like, you know, I'm kind of getting the short end of the stick with this stuff, and you know, it is a bit of a letdown. But for me personally, I just want to say, there's not this huge exodus of PlayStation 5 players just to get back on track. It's not happening. Okay? Xbox is in no way, shape, or form going to quote-unquote win in terms of sales or anything like that. That's not going to happen. You know, we're going to continue to see PlayStation outpace it and outpace the PS4. And imagine if PlayStation 5s were actually available to the masses the way that the want and need is for it. It wouldn't even be close. You know, PlayStation could be 20 million sold right now. Whereas if there were unlimited supply of Xboxes, that would tether off and kind of stop, because there's just not a huge demand for those Xboxes. And there shouldn't be until they start getting some games out that really stress what that thing can do. So with that being said, thank you for watching, or not. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Rack 'em. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.